Well, hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political and Bitcoin Vigilante. What is up? Well, I see Holly Horner, moderate backyard politics, is in the chat. Well, this is an auspicious day for all of us. Um, uh, you know, I I've talked last week. I was kind of like, this is my last one. I'm not doing the show. I'm changing it. I got to talk about. I mean, I'm going to be doing more of like a weekly sort of late night talk show thing that I'm working on putting together. I got to put together we got to get the right location. We got to get an audience, stuff like this. But Matt S is in the chat. Oh my goodness. It's old home week. It's the OGs in the chat. But I can't, I don't watch SNL really, but I saw a clip of it and they're making jokes about Trump covering up Epstein on SNL. And I'm just like, I'm I'm kind of in awe. Like since honestly, I hate to say this, but the best thing that's happened for the Epstein victims is Trump getting elected. Not because he, is some hero, but because he ran on this, I'm going to expose it all, and then didn't. And his own following, I honestly didn't think his following would I thought they were just too cultish and too drinking the Kool-Aid, because they won't hold him accountable for so many things. January 6th, whatever, like all this stuff that they just won't hold him accountable for. They don't say that he's lying. They don't, but then this is the thing that made them snap. And I mean, we're going to get into it. I got all these clips stacked up. I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't, I did a live stream last week, and I was like, I'm pretty much done. I've been censored. I'm burnt out from this. And then over the weekend, like, presidents are giving each other blowjobs. What? What is happening? Christian conservatives would not let the Epstein stuff go. They love their daughters. Yeah, I guess that's finally the Christian conservatives are actually staying true to what they claim to believe in. Like, I'm not on screen. Can you not see me? Someone's just saying I'm not on the screen. No Graham on screen. I can see myself. Can everybody else? Can you guys hear me? I'm not on screen. But you can hear my voice. What? Is that better? Yes, you can hear me. How about that? I can see myself, like, oh man. Sound is good, no picture. You can hear me, but you can't see me. What is the sweet all black on the screen? Boy, the CIA really is. Let's see. Okay. Grams. I'm audio only? I don't understand this. This doesn't make any sense. How about now? Does this do it? Because StreamYard is doing a vertical and horizontal thing. Is now can you see me? Does that work? I've turned it back on. Nope. Nobody. Still not working. What in the sweet Christmas? It's all black. How about now? Did that help? Because again, I'm in the StreamYard studio and it looks like I am on camera. Like I am. When every time I do a live stream, this is how it normally works. No, we got it. Oh, sweet. Okay. Just had to do the old reboot. Thank God we have a reboot. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Oh, God, I love tech issues. It's my favorite thing in the world, especially when I did everything the way I normally would do it, and then it just decides to not work. As we see, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Some Backyard Politics is here. Anna, Kevin, Matt S is here. This is great. Kevin, I love everybody. Holly, our moderator. Good. This is pretty amazing. To see everybody here. This is like the old school days. Yeah, I mean, I announced last week that I'm kind of walking away from the show just because I've been so censored. You know, when I used to do a live stream, there'd be 300 people watching, 400 people. If I had a big name guest like Whitney Webb, there'd be 500 to 1,000 people watching. I drop a video now and it gets 200 views. And even the last month, I've been dropping more videos consistently, pretty much close to every day. And they've just censored me. And I've talked about this before. You know, the Epstein subject is really dark and hard to talk about. But after the weekend of hearing the revelations of DT and Billy Clinton having a hot throwdown, and then this what happened today, 427-1. It's. I have to at least comment on this. Like, this is taking up a significant amount of my life, talking about this Epstein stuff. And also, I don't watch SNL, as I was saying, I don't watch Saturday Night Live, but I saw a clip of it on YouTube that they're doing jokes about Trump covering this up on SNL. And when I started covering this 6 years ago, not a lot of people were. This wasn't like a mainstream topic. And so we'll get into it into these segments, but it's like what because this means now they're going to have to go after the Clintons, which I'm all for. Go for it. Go after all of them. I got no love laws for Bill and Hillary. Don't like those people at all. Dislike them as much as I dislike Donald Trump. Pretty fair. I'm pretty equal in that way. Really good green tea. Got it in Chinatown. So good. But I'm putting together stuff for like a late night talk show that I want to do once a week. So we will do that. Yeah, we will do that. So let's cue up the segments, guys. Let's get it going. Let's get it all queued up and ready to go, because this is so much to unpack, because it's just like it's so much to unpack. Let's see. Where do we begin? All right, I'll just start with this one. And then we'll go from here. Anna's in the chat. Boom. Ron Placone. Ron, would you like to come join me on this segment, buddy? Or are you just hanging out with your cats and whiskey watching the Penguins game? What, Ron, would you like Ron Placone? I will send you a link. You can join me, buddy. This is one of the last live streams I'm going to do, Ron. Like as the political Bitcoin vigilante. I don't even know what I am anymore. Ron, the crowd's asking you for it. It's Old Home Week. There's a bunch of OGs in the chat getting ready for a show. Otherwise, I would. You can do your comedy skits, Ron Placone? Well, buddy, thank you for joining the chat. Being one of the 16 people that YouTube is allowing watch the show. Doing your comedy skits in Long Beach. All right. The LBC, buddy. It's fantastic. Well, you have a good skit show. My heart is breaking that we're losing the political vigilante. Yeah, it's been the last 2-3 years. I've been just so throttled and demonetized, and it's just like, plus I'm running on it. I yeah, it's hard. And then being politically homeless where you get attacked by both sides, it's just, yeah, it's a lot. So I've started a new channel called Planet Comedy with Graham Elwood. And there's, of course, Bitcoin Hollywood. I know that's not for all of you, but Planet Comedy is just going to be touring comedy stuff, interviewing people, sort of a laughs around the world thing where kind of Anthony Bourdain meets sort of comedians in cars getting coffee without the Jerry Seinfeld supporting the genocide part, just the kind of fun comedians talking about comedy bit. We're going to leave out the, hey, isn't genocide awesome? We're going to just leave that out. Me and my wife are donating money to the IDF Seinfeld thing. Yeah, thank you, Backyard. Left at Wall was great, Graham. I understand you burning out and not being able to make a living doing this anymore, but we love you and hope to keep seeing you in one form or another. Thank you, David's Vegan. I really appreciate that. It's been doing the show has been so cool, and like hearing from so many of you that you learn stuff from this show. Like Alex Das Libe last week said he learned about the Open Secrets website from this show. Backyard Politics told me she learned about Fred Hampton from this show. That's what the goal of this show was. I was doing all this exploration and I was learning it, and I was going to share it with you, and then talk to people like Ron Placone about it and Lee Camp. We're still doing it. We can still do government secrets. In fact, we're doing an episode tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern in the morning. If you want to watch that live, and you can always listen to it, government secrets, we're still doing that. We're doing them every other week, twice a month. Love doing that show. Lee and I, last episode, we did I was doing an impression of Ron Reagan on a sex chat hotline. So there'll be more of that. Graham, you're why there's a backyard politics. You have inspired us all. Thank you. It's like, thank you. I found you through Lee. Thank you. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, it was really. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes when when your views, when you used to have almost 80,000 subscribers and all these people would watch your live stream, and then it's not. And part of it is, yeah, I appreciate that. That's really cool. That's really cool that you said that. That's really cool that you said that. I'm glad that was the goal, is try to inspire people. I knew when I started this channel, January 2nd of 2017, that I was like, I know my little YouTube channel isn't going to like change the world, but I thought we could influence it in the better in one form or another. And, and the whole public battles with people like that was just exhausting, even though I know I was right, but, and I'm not an active alcoholic. So, yeah, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And it's really been, it's been cool to do the show. It's been fun to do it. It's been cool and fun and cool. There, I'm very good with words. And I've met a lot of really awesome people, Ron Placone and I, are good friends as a result of me doing this, and Lee Camp, and there's been some really cool stuff, and getting to interview, like, it's funny. John Kiriakou is now like this man, he's like out in front talking. He's got his own podcast and he's doing all the podcasts. And I'm like, yeah, I interviewed that guy in 2019. It's on my Epstein playlist, where he said, I think Israel was involved in Epstein's death. He said that on my show. I didn't make that up. He said that. And now he's like out there. He's Mr. Podcast. Everybody knows who he is. Not everybody knew who he was in 2019. And I met him through Susie Dawson. Yeah. Yeah, I've interviewed Chris Hedges on this show. I've interviewed Dr. Jill Stein numerous times on this show. All the Whitney Webb interviews were great. Yeah, you learned something with me. Thank you. All right. Well, let's do this first segment. I'll be back in less than 10 seconds with this segment. This is the be all end all of segments. Did Congress just vote 427-1 to release the Epstein files? Well, yes, they did, folks. This is huge. What does this mean? Who's the lone standout? What's going to happen? Are the Republicans going to try to scrub Republican names from this? Is the Senate going to block it or put out a polished version without any real names? Are presidents having sexy time with each other? Boy, there's a lot to unpack. My name is Graham Elwood, and you're watching the Bitcoin Vigilante, formerly Political Vigilante. But I've been covering this subject for a long, long time, since 2016 to be, since 2019 to be exact. And this is also the undoing of MAGA and the Republican Party, because Trump ran on why didn't Joe Biden release the names? And when I'm in office, I'm going to release the names. Trump is sworn into office in January of 2025, earlier this year. He appoints Pam Bondi, head of the DOJ. She says, the files are on my desk, on TV interviews, which I've shown you. They're all over the internet of her saying the files are on my desk. This is February, July 7th. I remember the day. Pam Bondi goes, well, the files are empty. Kash Patel, we got to do, it's all him on all these podcasts going, we got to uncover this and uncover this. And one of the things that Trump ran on was, why didn't Joe Biden uncover these names? Which is a fair criticism to make. Maxwell was arrested and tried and prosecuted under Joe Biden, given a little pet slap on the wrist, 20 years, minimum security prison. But Epstein was arrested the first time. Well, he was arrested the first time in 2009 in Florida. And that was when Obama was president, and he was given a very light sentence by William Acosta, who was then put into Trump's campaign. And I got attacked by some QAnoners, like Trump, it's all been debunked. And I said, no, there's ties to Trump. Trump is one of the ruling elites. What his base is seeing is that Trump is one of the ruling elites. This is the thing we've always said. All of us progressive leftists, like, he's a ruling elite. 2016, he ran a populist campaign, and that helped him get elected, because the Democrats always run horrible candidates and the Democratic Party would rather lose to a Republican than let progressives take over their party. We know that for a fact. But who's leading this? Republican Thomas Massie. And Massie is a pro-gun guy. He took a family photo of this whole family holding AR-15s around a Christmas tree. He's anti-abortion. He's very, very conservative. But this is the thing. And so let's get into all of these speeches that were given. Marjorie Taylor Greene is now full-on anti-Trump. And I don't know if she's doing this because she has honor, or she's just like, I'm seeing an opportunity to carve out my own thing. She wants to be president. I don't trust anybody with an R or D by their name, but Marjorie Taylor Greene every day is saying stuff that's like, I'm like questioning my identity as a am I agreeing with is Marjorie Taylor Greene making sense? Like, what? And she's making more sense than AOC and Bernie with their fight the oligarchy nonsense. So let's get into all of these things. There's a lot here. So this is the actual vote. We'll get into who the one person was who voted against it. Hint, he's a guy that's taken money from a thing called rhymes with Maypac. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is what she said on the floor. This is like.
Now, where does this go from here? The question will remain. Will the Department of Justice release all the information? Will a judge in New York release the information? Will the CIA release the information?
No.
And will foreign governments release their information? Or will this continue after this vote today be a cover-up? A cover-up of the rich, powerful elites that bond together in sex and human trafficking abuse in all types of global business that enriches them but never serves Americans. The American people will know, and the victims, actually the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, will know because they know the list of names. And I remain dedicated to my promise to read those names here on the House floor if those women ever find them in a place that it needs to be done. I yield back to Mr.
Gentlelady from Georgia yields back. Gentleman from
What? I mean, like, yeah, okay. I'm down, man. I'm down with this is stuff I've been saying, Whitney Webb have been saying. And now this is an interview. We got to watch this one. So this one is like, this is not what Thomas Massey is saying. He's saying Thomas Massey is throwing absolute haymakers at
poorly
these.
drafted does not protect the victims as well. What do you on this bill? He says that it was poorly drafted, does not protect the victims as well. What do you say to him?
Well, he's trying to say that rich and powerful men who were on the plane to Epstein Island are now victims. They would be victims because their names would get disclosed. Like, look at his PowerPoint presentation today. He's creating a new category of victims. So I think that's how a Christian man can stand up there and say a lie like that, is he's got something in the back of his head that makes it okay. But if he had real concerns, he could have introduced his own legislation. Look.
What? Okay. Like, that's Thomas Massey calling out Mike Johnson. It's like, I can't, here's what Thomas Massey said. Here's what Thomas Massey said.
Case. That is wrong. Do not let the Senate muck this bill up. And if you're a party to that in the Senate, you are part of this cover-up that we are trying to expose. I am sorry if one of your billionaire donors is going to get embarrassed because he went to Rape Island. That is what they have coming. In fact, they need to be on the other side of bars, a lot of them. Some of them will be embarrassed, but some of them need to go to prison, and the survivors know that. So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men in handcuffs being perp walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up. Case.
I mean, I'm sorry here. I've used those exact words on this show. I said these billionaires need to be perp walked. I said if I ever became president, I would perp walk all the former presidents. They'd be in orange jumpsuits, and I'd perp walk them across the north lawn of the White House. I've said that. I've said these guys need to be perp walked. You know, I said that when they did that huge, big theatrical perp walk, and I said, how come we can't find any of these Epstein guys? Like, we've been screaming this. So I'm kind of like, I'm blown away that a congressman is saying this on the floor of the House, like in the Capitol building, this is being said, and that he's calling out the senators, because this is what has been happening with this Epstein thing time and time again. Someone gets a little arrested, Epstein gets arrested, he commits suicide in prison, then they try to cover it up. Ghislaine Maxwell, again, I talked about this during the Maxwell trial in 2021. Only 4 survivors were allowed to give testimony. Only 4. At the Larry Nassar case, there was like over 100 victims. It's one of the reasons why I'm not gonna do this show anymore. It's burning me out. This is a very dark subject, but I don't need to be. I'm not the only guy. Before, I thought it was a guy screaming alone. It was a guy at the beach alone screaming at the ocean, and no one was listening. And now everyone's talking about it. SNL did they're doing sketches where they're saying Trump is covering up for pedophiles. Like, finally. Because I was felt like I was going insane for years, and myself and people like Whitney Webb, who's way more knowledgeable on this. She is, I'm pretty knowledgeable on this. She's very, but she's a journalist. I'm a comedian. She's a thoroughbred journalist. And so I'm like, wow, this is all stuff I've said on this show. There's videos to show. I've been saying this for 6 years. And finally, it's being said. I never thought this day would happen. I got to be honest with you. Now, we can't get too excited because it will go to the Senate. And what is happening? I'm going to show you an interview with Epstein's brother who's saying they are currently scrubbing these emails of Republican names. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, what always happens with the Epstein thing is it's like whenever they find corrupt cops, or real corruption, they always give up a couple mid-level guys and say, oh, a few bad apples, we got it. They did this, the Catholic Church did this with the pedophile priests. So for this thing truly to truly work, and you're going to have to arrest hundreds of rich, powerful people. How are you going to be able to do that when they control everything? That's always been the thing. That's why they've been able to get away with it. And two things are happening. The Republican Party is completely fractured on this because they're turning against Trump. But it does, and the Democrats are jumping in, but it does make the Democrats, because then guess what? Bill Clinton was on that flight. Hillary flew on the plane twice. Bill and Hillary went to Epstein's compound in New Mexico. I want to roast them all. I want them all taken out. Luigi'd. That's get all the evidence, and then prevent this from ever happening again. Seize their assets, start a fund for the survivors. Virginia Roberts Giuffre, she unalived herself when she said she never would. Don't buy it. So there's still this is good. This is good, but let's be aware of what we're dealing with here. So let me show you what we're dealing with. So this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Well, first I want to talk about, let me go back up here to what, so then this right here. This is Senate Speaker Mike Johnson. Here we go. What is he saying? We got to be careful about releasing these names for, listen to the words, security concern. Oh, it's a security concern.
The discharge requires the Attorney General to release within 30 days, quote, classified information to the maximum extent possible. This ignores the principle that declassification should always rest, and always has rested, with the agency that originated the intelligence. Why? So that they can protect their critical sources and methods. It is incredibly dangerous to demand that the officials or employees of the DOJ declassify materials that originated in other agencies, in intelligence agencies. I could go on. I won't be here all. National security.
Oh, folks. Okay, let me just translate. I'm going to translate that for anybody watching. What he's saying is Jeffrey Epstein was a CIA asset. There it is, guys. We have 30 days. They have 30 days. So that's 30 days for them to redact the crap out of this. 30 days to cover their ass. 30 days for the CIA. You remember the CIA. That's the organization that JFK, the only Irish Catholic president this country's ever had, said should be broken into 1,000 pieces and scattered into the wind like dust. And then a bullet defied the laws of gravity and went through 3 people. That same organization, those guys, the ones that Lee Camp and I have done numerous episodes of, all the coups and all the crazy things that have MK Ultra, and we're just led to believe that got shut down and they put that away. That's what he's talking about. We've talked about that on this show. Whitney Webb has done extensive work showing that Epstein was a CIA spook. Her interview with Maria Farmer. William Acosta said in 2009 he was told to go easy on Epstein because he was a CIA asset. Acosta said that. I didn't say that. That's what this is. So be ready. Be ready. They're going to throw a little red meat to the base. They're going to arrest a couple of little mid-level guys, but then it's a security. It's to keep you safe. To keep me safe from what? The CIA, which is paid for by my tax dollars, has pedophiles in its midst. How do I know this? Am I being a crazy tinfoil hat conspiracy guy? Again, go watch my interview with John Kiriakou, ex-CIA whistleblower, who's now big on the podcast scene. He's all over. Everyone knows who he is now. Nobody knew who he was 6 years ago when he was on this show. And he said, and I asked him point blank, I said, does the CIA like condone or use pedophiles or whatever? No, he would say not necessarily. He goes, but if the CIA had an asset that liked having sex with kids, they would, you know, get him kids or use him or whatever. We know this from Epstein. He had that fake hedge fund where, and we know how it would work with Epstein. And this is how the CIA works too. They'd come to an Epstein party. Somebody would say, hey, would you like to get a massage from a beautiful young woman? Sure. Rich guy would say, and then it would be an underage, a child. And they would, you know, she'd perform sex acts with him. They'd videotape it. Epstein would say, I got this on videotape. And now all of a sudden there's a $20 million investment in Epstein's fake hedge fund that never did any actual trading on the New York Stock Exchange. So he's a CIA asset, and the CIA has to cover its ass. The only way the CIA cannot cover its ass and do what it normally does is if everybody is loud about this, if everybody is talking about this. There's so many political stances that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massey, I do not agree on. I'm not a big gun nut. I'm a woman has a right to choose. Woman has a right to choose. Woman has a right to choose. But if they're the other ones, because AOC never did this, AOC never led this cause. I mean, Ro Khanna's okay. Ro Khanna's doing it, but Biden didn't assign a special prosecutor. Hillary Clinton certainly wasn't. Her and her husband were on his plane. So just pay attention the next 30 days. And if the names really start coming out, be ready for a false flag, false flag, false flag, false flag, false flag, false flag, flag. Oh, Graham, that sounds crazy. Oh, okay. Look what's happened this whole summer. After July 7th. Oh, we're sending the National Guard to DC. We're sending the National Guard to Chicago. Trump was hoping that like people in the streets with guns and gangs would shoot back and there'd be war. There'd be civil war on the streets. That's all we're going to be talking about if that happens. We will not be talking about this. That's why he sent the Marines to California. Be careful. The closer this gets to truly being revealed, get ready for stuff like that. Oh no, somebody blew up a mall in Dallas, Texas. And what will we know immediately within 24 hours? Oh, it was Hamas. How did they get across the border? They snuck across with the illegals. So you're not safe. You're not safe. There's only one people that can make you safe. That's the CIA and Trump and everybody. Oh, and he'll be like, we got to stop. And that's red meat for his base. Oh, the dirty terrorists blew up good, hardworking Americans. Get ready for something crap like that. They will do anything to protect us. Because we know their tactics. Well, let's go into more. Who was the one guy that voted against this? Who was the one guy? 427-1? Who was the one guy? Who was that one guy? Who was that one guy? Here's the one guy. Hey. What is Clay Higgins?
Do you care about more, U.S. or Israel?
There's no variance. It's like you asking, do you love your wife more than your daughter?
Well,
and you said it's a simple question.
It is.
Do you love your wife more than your daughter?
I love the United States more than I love Israel. It's a very simple question.
Great love, and you as a human being, you express that love, and you have core principles that drive you to your love for your wife and your love for your daughter. It's two different loves, but neither of them is greater than the other. You understand?
Who's the priority when you're casting a vote in Congress, America or Israel? It's a very simple question. You're not answering it, Representative.
Clay Higgins, $19,350. This is if you want to know, go on Twitter. There's APAC Tracker. I think it's apactracker.org, because again, big donations, $2,000 and up, are tracked. They are a matter of public record. So that's the one guy that voted against this. Weird. That's odd. Why would one guy Why would one guy who gets money from Israel and tries to equate Israel and the United States as his wife and his daughter? No, you're a United States, you work in the U.S. Congress. United States tax dollars pay your bills. That's your job. But you get money from a foreign power. What if he was saying that about United States and China? It's my wife and my daughter. United States and Russia. It's my wife and my daughter. United States and Iran. It's my wife and my daughter. I love them both the same. What if Mamdani said this about his Muslim country? Ooh. One guy that voted against releasing the Epstein names gets money from Israel, a foreign power. That's anti-Semitic. No. Let me tell you something. I'm Irish. I'm an American of Irish descent. My grandfather on my mom's side is 100% Irish. There's also Irish on my dad's side of the family. And I was raised Catholic, but I don't practice that religion anymore because, like Trump, they cover up pedophiles. And if the Irish government, which is largely Catholic, was bombing northern Belfast and their goal was to wipe out the Protestants, and they were doing it with American tax dollars, I would be just as mad, if not more angry. I'd be more angry. I'd be really angry if the Irish government was doing that with my tax dollars. Now, does that mean I hate the Irish? I'm a self-hating Irishman? Does it mean I'm racist towards Catholics? No. I don't want my tax dollars going to Ukraine. I don't want my I don't want my tax dollars going to any war when I drive down the streets of any American city and I see homelessness, when I see crumbling infrastructure. And I'm here in Asia and I see, Chinese infrastructure is amazing. The EV charging is all over. They have high-speed rail. I've taken it. The two best places I've taken high-speed rail, Russia and China. We have a little bit of high-speed rail in America, but we can't even get high-speed rail in California. We've thrown billions of dollars into a hole for no good reason. So this is the guy who voted against it. But now I want to show you some actual positive stuff. So we have to be aware that the Senate could scrub this. First, we're going to show the scrubbing, and then I'm going to show survivors talking. But this was just an interview on, sorry, let me bring that back. Real quick, here's Trump's pastor who got arrested for sexually abusing a 12-year-old. Anyway, I'm sure that's not relevant at all. Let's go with this. Okay, this is the one. It's Mark Epstein. This is Epstein's brother.
We told the reason they're going to be released. What I want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. That's what I was told by a pretty good source. What I do want to talk about is I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republican names out. That's what I was told by a pretty good source.
Okay. That's Epstein's brother saying that. I know it's like an uncorroborated source. Is he telling the truth? We don't know. We don't know, but that was the first, before I saw this interview, that did pop into my mind. I'm like, well, what names, and we got 30 days. So we just saw Johnson talk about, oh, and we needed to hold these names back because it's a security concern. So be careful now. We can't do too many victory laps on this just yet, but let's at least hear the victims who, got a little bit of justice today,
Ourselves. So for you to know, I want to address Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, and Rokana. I want to express my gratitude for all three of you. And I know, Rokana, we spoke earlier. This is an incredible thing that I'm watching as a Republican, and this is non-political. But for you to go against your own party and to be ostracized, there's no place for political violence. There's no place for intimidation. And I can say firsthand, stepping out against Epstein and his crimes against children, we have all experienced that ourselves. So for you to knowingly put yourselves at risk and put your career at risk is unbelievable to watch. And we are so grateful. I also want to make a proposition for Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you've been an advocate for this. If you decide to read those names on the House floor for immunity, I will be more than happy. No security needed. I will stand beside you. I will hold your hand. I will hold your coat in solidarity with you. And on top of that, I did talk to Priyapal Jayapal, who said she would be more than happy to read those names too on the floor with all of us. It's time that we put the political agendas and party affiliations to the side. This is a human issue. This is about children. There is no place in society for exploitation, sexual crimes, or exploitation of women in society. There's no room for it, guys. We're not having it. And to the President of the United States of America, who is not here today, I want to send a clear message to you. While I do understand that your position has changed on the Epstein files, and I'm grateful that you have pledged to sign this bill, I can't help to be skeptical of what the agenda is. So with that being said, I want to relay this message to you. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. I am traumatized. I am not stupid. You have put us through so much stress, the lockdowns, the halt of these procedures that were supposed to have happened 50 days ago. The Adelita Grijalva, who waited to get sworn in and then get upset when your own party goes against you because what is being done is wrong. It's not right. For your own self-serving purposes, this is America. This is land of the free. Land of the free. In 1863, we have a woman on top of the Capitol building represent freedom. I do not feel free today. I don't know if the women behind me feel free today. So I am begging every member of Congress, every representative to step up and choose the chaos, choose the survivors, choose the children, protect the children, all children. You protect all of us equally.
Wow. And one of the things that pops into my mind is all the problems of the Republican Party. This is why I'm an independent. I don't like both parties. Where were the Democrats? When will the Democrats call out their own party this severely? Like, this is a significant moment in American politics. It's a significant moment that finally these victims, these survivors are being heard. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, man. I mean, Stanley Kubrick said the world is run by pedophiles, and then he died like a week after Eyes Wide Shut came out. But let's hear more from them. They need their voices heard, man.
Coming from the dance world, I was recruited in 2004 after a systematic breaking down where Epstein leveraged my mother's brain tumor scans. He threatened me to withhold care for her. He trapped me in a year-long cycle of abuse. The last time I was here in Washington, D.C., I talked about being a part of this beautiful mosaic of women behind me. And they're exactly that. They are a beautiful mosaic of energy and passion and love and life. I am one story of 1,000. Think of that number, 1,000. I spoke of how big our hopes and dreams once were. And I talked about how they were completely shattered at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein.
Who's a pedophile?
Now I look at this amazing community behind me. They are survivor sisters. We are together. We stand together in this. And I realize that we are a representation of women across America. We come from different backgrounds. We have different religions. We are different races, different creeds, different ethnicities. We have different political affiliations. Some of us don't want to be political at all. And yet we stand here together for this cause. We're united in the call for transparency, complete transparency, to find justice. Justice for our younger selves. These pictures that you see, they're real people. I wish I could go back and give my former self a hug and say, this matters and it's going to change, and mean it. We are standing here for justice for the youth of tomorrow, and justice for those who are no longer with us, like the beautiful, brave Virginia Giuffre. We understand that the road is long, but I implore you to stay the course, please. Living in an age where you can get news in 10-second clips on your phone, I know that this is a big task for us, but it's a very personal one for survivors. It's a very personal one for us as a country. So I'd like to ask you to try something right now. I'd like everybody to close their eyes or soften their gaze just for a moment. And I want everybody to think of a child that is close to them between the ages of 14 and 18 years old. It could be your daughter, it could be your niece, it could be a friend's kids, it could be you at a former age, it could be your mother at that age. But really envision that for a second, 14 to 18 years old.
So Senator Merkley is a Democrat. He's led the exact same legislation that Roe and I introduced in the House. One Republican co-sponsored his bill yesterday, and I have spoken to at least one more who says they will co-sponsor. The important thing about the Senate is that they need not to muck this bill up. There's a lot of attention on here. We've needlessly spent 4 months dragging this out. A representative, a duly elected representative, was denied her seat in Congress for 49 days, and it's time to pull the Band-Aid off. The Senate, it may be tempting for them to get cute and to do things that will limit the release of these documents. They are afraid that people will be embarrassed. Well, that's the whole point here. They need to be brought to justice, and embarrassment is no reason to stop it. So the Senate, John Thune, it's up to him. He needs to bring this to the floor of the Senate. And I think the vote today will show that in the House.
And the president, look, the president said he would sign the bill. You're going to get almost a unanimous vote here. So you have the president and a unanimous Congress believing that this protects the survivors and is calling for the release. There's no reason for the Senate now to, as Representative Massey puts it, muck around with it. They need to put it up, have a vote, have the president sign it. If there's any further protections, they can do that through the DOJ process. But what they should not do is delay a vote on a bill that the House is going to vote overwhelmingly for and that the president supports.
So that's what happened today. I will just add that there's a lot of boys that get molested and abused as well. I know that wasn't really Epstein's and his group's preference. But there's two things that need to be pointed out here. One in 6 men have been abused sexually by the time they're 18. 45% of their abusers are female. And Ghislaine Maxwell was a pedophile and a rapist. And if they're consulting her, getting her advice on this, she should be getting waterboarded in Gitmo. I'm glad that this happened. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't really trust the Senate, and they're getting a lot of stress and pressure. As John Kiriakou said, that there's something like over 100 unlicensed or unregistered Mossad agents operating in America. A new poll, 61% of American Jews are against what Israel is doing in Gaza. They're committing a genocide. But these are very wealthy, powerful people that are like, there's no way I'm going to get exposed. They'll do anything to protect their money and their power. Anything. So I'm glad this got passed. I'm Massey and Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene, three people who I don't, prior to this, didn't have a lot of respect for as an independent. I'm like, I've done videos on Ro Khanna's wife's stock portfolio. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've made fun of her 6 ways from Sunday, but they're doing the right thing. They're doing the right thing. I don't know if they're all doing it in hopes they can be president soon. But that's, they're doing the right thing. And if this evidence and this, the survivors talking, if this is triggering you in any way, you know, there's some good resources out there. Yeah, that one woman was talking about, you know, think of a child or think of a, she was just referencing girls, but she needs to understand. They all need to understand. And I guarantee you some of Epstein's pals were into boys. I can guarantee it. And, you know, if a woman in her 30s has sex with a 15-year-old boy, guess what? She's a pedophile. Just like if a 30-something-year-old man has sex with a 15-year-old girl. It's the same. And people who make jokes. And when I was younger, I used to make jokes. Oh, man, you know, but... and I had a good comic friend of mine make a joke about this. And I said, well, I could bring you to a male survivor support group meeting and you can try that joke out there and see how long it lasts. You might hear like a click of the door locking behind you and you're going to have a hard time getting out of that room. That might happen, which might not be the response you thought it would be if you make that joke. And, you know, talking about this, I'm glad it's happening and I appreciate you guys in the chat, but it's also like, it brings up a lot of emotions for me, you know, and whistleblowers are attacked, right? Whistleblowers are always attacked, and those women up on there, they're survivors and they've been attacked. I mean, really attacked because they're calling out the most powerful people. Maria Farmer was attacked, and it's the reason why you're called a survivor is because other people that had that sort of abuse become drug addicts and alcoholics and do all of these things to numb out because feeling, reliving that stuff and feeling the emotions is really hard. I've had some moments, you know, and if you're having a tough time with that, if some repressed memories come forward, I've had experience with that, you know, go find a therapist that deals with trauma. Somatic EMDR is a good resource. Somatic therapy is good. EMDR is very effective. It's and there's a lot of support groups out there. And so, yeah, get help, self-care, take breaks, go surfing. I've been touring through Asia. I haven't been doing much surfing. I've been in these big cities, and yeah, I'm going surfing. That decision's been made. So follow Money, connect the dots, get the truth. Buy Bitcoin. It's on sale right now. You can get it for under 100K. I would suggest buying it. You support the show anyway down there. You can support us on there. No super chats to discuss, but EMDR was really helpful for me on this topic. Yeah. It helped me too. The cops, yeah. Still a country of white supremacy, patriarchy, oligarchy, and abuse. Land of false narratives. See, I'm like emotionally exhausted from doing this segment. So shave your knuckles for justice. All right, everybody, that's the show. Thanks for supporting me over these years. I might come back and do more, like if there's more significant news in the Epstein thing, but like talking about this stuff on a daily or weekly basis is too much. So please go follow me, Planet Comedy with Graham Elwood. It's a YouTube channel. And Bitcoin Hollywood is going to be like Bitcoin information and some entertainment stuff. It's funny. I had memories come forward in 2017, and I was introduced to the guy that created 1in6.org. You can look that up. The number one, not spelled out O-N-E, but the number one, 1in6.org. And I met the guy who created that, and it's a really good resource for male survivors. Because male survivors, we don't talk about it, and we're told, oh, it's no big deal, or oh, you're lucky you got abused by a woman. You're told all this bullshit. So men just don't talk about it. But 1in6 is a pretty sick, and that's the reported number, 1in6. It's probably more like 1in2. But I met him, and I got the book. That they put out, which I can't remember the name right now. And a couple months after I met him and talked to them a couple of times and came by their offices, and they're in Toluca Lake, actually. He said, I'm stepping down. He'd been doing it for like 20 years. And he's like, I can't do this anymore. And I don't blame him. Yeah, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. You guys are great. I'm glad I spread the word. And I'm going to spread the word on funny stuff. So keep following me. I'll still put stuff up on this channel just because it has such a big following, but I'm so suppressed. But go to Planet Comedy. I just can't do Rumble. I can't do it. I can't go over there. movie network. Yeah, and the movie Network's a great movie, and it basically was the most prescient film I've ever seen. It predicted everything that's happening. Oh, all right. You guys have a great night. Thank you for everything. This isn't like I'm going away forever, but just going away and coming back in more of just what I started as a comedian, as an entertainer. Because it's a lot of fun being an entertainer. Being silly is a lot of fun. And there's just a lot of darkness in the world. So, whew. Thanks everybody. You all have been great. You've all been an amazing audience. And yeah, I'm glad that it warms my heart that I've inspired some of you and educated you and helped you learn about stuff, and I learned about stuff. So I'm just gonna go back to being funny, but I think I'm gonna be doing a lot of Darien, a lot of Shimshay, a lot of Granny Petrol. I like doing those characters. So I've been really thinking about and writing about this talk show, late night talk show thing. So thanks everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you, Holly, moderator, and Backyard Politics in the chat, being a guest moderator. You know, and like I said, man, buy Bitcoin, put it on a cold wallet, because America could still very much collapse. Thank you, Backyard. We love you. Yeah, I love you guys too. Thank you so much. This has been really a cool journey. And I'm very, very grateful for it. Very grateful. It's been such a cool thing to do, and I've met a lot of cool people. So, follow me on all my YouTube stuff. I could use some subscribers over. It's called Planet Comedy with Graham Elwood. It's me like laughing with this woman I met in Vietnam and having lunch with like a comedian in Hanoi. And I'm going to be posting more videos like that. I have a bunch of cool videos like that. I just got to start posting. So, you're the best. You guys are all awesome. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's how we make Gotham great again. Buy Bitcoin, be silly, be kind, be nice, know your neighbors, even if you don't agree with them politically. If Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Ro Khanna can all get along to do this thing, then you can talk to your conservative neighbor. You know? So, shave your knuckles for justice.